Wow. Good evening, folks, and welcome to yet another fun-packed live stream for you. So I have no plans for what I'm going to talk about. No idea what I'm going to do. Wasn't even really going to do this until a few hours ago, where I could have made some plans for it, but instead just decided not to. So I don't know, maybe I get a prize for the most unprepared YouTube channel. But anyway, I guess I'll leave the format up to you guys, and you can decide what we're going to do tonight. So over to you. Meanwhile, I've got this cool magazine, and they're doing a special on the Panzer. Yeah, Panzer special. So I'll just read away here, and you know, so I hope this is actually working, because I seem to be frozen here, which is not a good sign. Yeah, I definitely seem to be frozen in a pose here. So oh my god, we got some people here. Hello, folks. Oh, I'm actually moving. Oh great. Okay, because I look to be frozen on the screen here. So yeah, not frozen is good. So how are we all doing this evening? Okay, lots of stuff going on then. I don't know what to say. Okay, so basically one thing I should say is a lot of you guys have sent me good wishes following my heart problem. So I want to say thank you for that. It was yeah, it's been a bit of a it's been a few crazy weeks. So I'm glad to be, you know, kind of slowly getting myself back to normal. I've been pretty much just going easy, not doing anything too particularly strenuous. You know, I've still just about, my veins are just about coming back to normal. I had about 6 things stuck in me there when they were taking and administering various fluids and so on, but I'm feeling a lot better and doing a lot better, so thank you all for your kind words. Okay, anyone has any particular questions, throw them in here, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. I don't often get the time really these days now to sit in front of the computer and answer stuff individually, so I think I'm going to try to do more regular live streams and a bit more scheduled, so that I can at least give you guys a chance to, you know, kind of jump in here and you know, answer some questions for you. So when is the 7-day build? That's a good question. The 7-day build has been on hold a little bit because of the health issues. One of the things that I have to do before starting that is I have a dyno day for the Panzer. That's on the 8th of September, so I'm probably not really going to start it before then, and I got to make a plan for how I'm going to approach it. I'm also waiting on some PCBs to come in for the cut down Innova inverter that we're using for that project. So yeah, it's probably not going to happen for a few weeks yet. I'll try to firm up a date on it and get that up on my Instagram, Twitter, get it up here on YouTube and things like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I hope I can actually I kind of hope I can actually do it now. I'm pretty sure I still can, because we're making it as kind of a simple build as it possibly can be. So we'll get to that pretty soon. I get to working out when that's going to happen. Where did I go to university? It was in a place called Waterford Institute of Technology, which is in the southeast of Ireland, so not exactly MIT or something like that. If I'm going to get the Tesla charger to talk to the Tesla charging network, well, so are we talking about supercharging? Ooh. Yeah, I do have some plans. Obviously, I can't reveal to you that I'm hoping to supercharge the Panzer from a Tesla supercharger, because if I did that, well then Elon, who is, obviously watching this stream, would kind of know about it and, make my life hell. So I can't tell you that that's what my plan is, and equally I can't tell you how I'm going to do that quite yet. Probably going to revise the hardware for the charger board, because that's going to need single wire CAN in order to communicate with the supercharger, and the current revision of the charger board doesn't have single wire CAN on it. Can you help me find a controller for a DC 310 volt 75 kilowatt motor? I have 3 cables output. For a DC motor, 310 volts is quite high for a DC motor. If it's got three cables, it would sound to me like it's an AC motor. So it might be worth checking that. When are we doing the range test on the €1,000 car? Pretty soon. I have been doing little bits on that over the past week or so. Kind of hasn't been much to video, but that'll be changing soon. We've got a friend of mine to give me a hand doing some of the metal bashing and the heavy work, and the charger is in, working on the heater, and hopefully we will be able to get it through the NCT in a few weeks time. And once I have that done, I'll be fully road legal, and we can go on a long drive and do our range test, speed test, and any tests that you guys think I should do. So I haven't gotten to that yet, and I know it's kind of sounding like everything's going to happen in a few weeks, but I am working on the stuff, even if it kind of looks like I'm just sitting here reading magazines. And we get some ready built boards from you. Sure. For what? Depends what you want them for. Like, I have Tesla boards and so on. So let me know. Anyone that wants to contact me privately can do so at info@evbmw.com. Probably the easiest way to do it. Can you hack the leaf motor to give more power? I would say yes. There's a guy in Canada that's already done that. I think he had dynoed a leaf in some front wheel drive cart over 300 horsepower. So I tend to pronounce his name wrong all the time. I drove him crazy once or twice. I think it's Arlen Sanzome is his name, but I'm probably correct. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. So I want to go a look for that. Have I any plans for maximizing regen using traction control in the Panzer? No, not yet. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of things I can do. At the minute, if you wind up the regen, it will just lock up the back wheels and you are, yeah, you're doing a kind of Tokyo drift sort of thing. So, yeah, you know, probably does need a bit of traction control that way, but might be a way to make it work with the DS or ASC system that's in the Panzer. But I'm pretty sure I have told you guys, but if I haven't, the Panzer, we'll be doing the dyno day on the 8th of September, and immediately after that the Panzer is going into the body shop, and she is going to get a complete work over. All the rusty bits are going to be cut away. She's going to get professionally body shopped, and is going to be back to kind of, I would say, very close to being showroom condition, which we're hoping to have done by the middle to the end of November. So do watch this space. And I suppose I can, you know, secretly reveal, if you promise not to tell anyone, but it also looks like there's going to be an article in Performance BMW magazine about the Panzer as well. So so when I finish the EV conversion, is the car still liable for old high road tax rate? No, is the short answer. It takes a bit of work, but I do get the cars reclassified as electric vehicles, and in this country that means they're liable for €120 a year road tax. What is the battery pack I will run on the dyno? It's gonna be the Ampera pack, pretty much what's in the car at the minute. The day before, I am going to babysit it and bring it up as close to 4.2 volts per cell as I dare, and we'll see if we can. We have done over 300 kilowatts electric. I don't know what the efficiency is going to be like, so I'm hoping that we can get 300 kilowatts mechanical out of it. But we'll see. It's going to be fun anyway. So we'll see there. What will be the weight of the Panzer? I would imagine at the minute the Panzer is probably pretty much either close enough to where she was or even a little bit lighter. The weight balance has probably shifted a bit because of the weight of the drive unit in the back. So I'd say we're not quite at the optimal weight distribution. But I also hope to get some Tesla modules for it, and that will give me the chance to excuse me, redistribute the weight somewhat better. Okay, what else have you got for me? Any more Tesla parts to be reused? I would say yes. At the minute on the bench I have the Tesla cabin heater, which I'm going to look at. I was sorely tempted to have a look at that for the E36 because they are getting quite cheap. But I found a really neat solution for that, and I'm not going to tell you now. You're going to have to wait for the video. So we've got the Tesla cabin heater. The Tesla air conditioning compressor is also probably going to get used in the E65 7-day build, because I do want that to be, you know, pretty much the heating, ventilation, air conditioning in there to be as it is now. I want it to be that way when it's electrified. So what's the max charging speed? Depends on what car we're talking about. The Panzer is 10 kilowatts at the minute. Hopefully we get one of these Gen 3 chargers working, we'll get that up to near 20 kilowatts. The E36 at the minute is going to be pretty low charging speed. It's going to be about 1.5 kilowatts, but again, I'm going to be showing you guys how we can bring that up hopefully to about 3 or 4 kilowatts when there's 3-phase power available. Warp 11 motor going into a VW bus, that should be fun. What batteries would I recommend? I mean, with a DC system like the Warp 11, you're probably going to be looking like you know, 180 volts maybe, so it would be very easy to connect a Nissan Leaf battery or something like that. You could go for Calb cells as well. I mean, they're a little bit old technology now, and if you want to save a buck, I mean, I'd say a Nissan Leaf pack or something like that would be the way to go. So got a couple questions here from people just about making the conversions road legal in this country. I'm going to recommend that anyone that has those questions, I addressed this in the first live stream I did about 4 or 5 months ago, so just have a look through my previous live streams, have a look at the first one, and that will answer those questions for you. It's not at all as difficult as you may think. It's probably something I need to do a little 10-minute video on and just, you know, put that up there properly labeled, so that's something that I will do. What is the best car type for conversion? Lots and lots of different suggestions there. What I will say to people, I actually said it to my pal Dave there a couple of days ago. It's not about what's the best car to convert, and I tell you, it's you know, it's a BMW E39, we'll say. But it is to me, but it may not be to you. But the thing that you always want to do is pick a car that you like. I mean, I like the Panzer, okay? I've always liked Panzers. So I will, you know, I will have that car for as long as I'm around, and so that's the car that I want. So it's the car that I want to be electric. So go out there and find a car that you're gonna like, not just today, but you're going to like it in 10 years because it'll still be going. You're going to like it in 20 years because guess what, it'll still be going. And then you convert that car and you take it from there. Would it be possible to make an EV conversion of a more modern BMW like an E90? Of course, yes. I mean, I'm converting an E65, which is probably actually more advanced technically than the E90. It's one of the reasons that I picked it, is that it can, you know, it's got all these, you know, bus systems and fiber optics and all of that fun packed stuff. Are they all capable of charging on the ESB infrastructure? Yes. Not on the CHAdeMO at the minute. Now that's not the fault of the cars, that's the fault of the charge point manufacturers, believe it or not, who decided to play fast and loose with the CHAdeMO standard. But I'm not going to get back into that. I did loads and loads of that stuff about 4 years ago. What do we got? Okay. Could I make an EVTV GUI programming tutorial? I could. It wouldn't be a very good one because I'm not a particularly good software person. My idea of software is pretty much basically ripping off other people's hard work, changing a few variables in it, and then deleting their names from it and claiming it as being my own. So again, just don't tell people that I do that, because then I'll just look bad. Do I have any headway cells? No, I do not have any headway cells. They're all gone. A 1989 E30 Touring would be good. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yes. And you're not the first person in the last week to say an E30 Touring, by the way, so it might be worth watching this space, or a space not too far away from me. Okay, so this guy wants to do an E90. Very good, very good. If it has iDrive, yeah, I mean, I don't see why you can't. I mean, the E65 has got iDrive in it now. It's the kind of old one. I'm sure the E90 the E90 iDrive is probably a lot, you know, slicker. So I would say shouldn't be a problem. There's going to be interfacing and things to do there. I mean the one thing about modern cars, it's a thing that scares people away from them from a perspective of EV conversions, is all the CAN bus integration. But on one side of it is that if you get to grips with it, it actually makes the conversion much easier, because rather than having a thick bundle of wires the size of your arm, you've got, you know, CAN high, CAN low, a wake up signal and ground. And you can pretty much control anything with that. In the last video I did on the E65, for example, you can see me you know, running the tachometer, the indicators on the instrument cluster, you know, the gear shifter position, the gear, you know, the manual and the automatic gear shift. All that stuff is just with a few lines of code in an Arduino DUI with a CAN shield on it. The inverter board that I've designed for that project will be using CAN commands to, you know, select drive, select reverse, select neutral, you know, to detect the brake is being applied. All these things will be done via CAN, and we'll be showing you guys how I muddle my way through this. So yeah, don't be afraid of the modern vehicle with the CAN bus stuff. You know, it can get scary. Yes, the E65 had something like 1200 frames a second on the powertrain CAN. When you literally sit into the seat and like, I'm going, oh my god, what the hell is all this? But turns out I need something like 3 or 4 frames to actually make the car think it's switched on, running, happy as a clam. So have you tested using Prius engine? I'm trying not to. Yeah, the old Prius project again is something I really can't tell you guys about, you know, because of all this secrecy and all the NDAs that I sign with all of my suppliers and all this kind of thing. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff coming along in the future few weeks, so do watch this space. My friend's RX-8, I'm not sure what he's doing with it. I haven't had a lot of opportunity to talk to him, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. So what's this here? What are we saying? To emotive the Smith Edison Transit. You have a thing about transits. Okay, well, interesting. Not sure what you mean by emotive it. I mean, it makes the Smith Edison Transit certainly can make me emotional, not in a particularly good way. So, but I'm guessing that's not what the person means. What do I think of the Curtis controller? Now, do you mean the old Curtis DC controller that goes wee? If you mean that Curtis controller, then our survey says no way. AC ones I've no experience of. So yeah. Oh, we want to improve the Smith Transit. Yes. Yes, that's a subject. I think the best way to improve the Smith Transit would be to burn it. But no, seriously. There's a good motor. The Innova Inverter has got a good power stage in it, but it's got some horrific control electronics in there. But fear not, EV BMW has the solution for you in a few weeks. So do watch this space, as I have some neat circuit boards for that piece of junk. I mean high quality inverter that we will be making available on the old web shop, where hopefully I can get to rip off some more people for their hard-earned cash. Anything on the open source supercharger? Yes and no. There's been a lot of development on the software side. Tom has been working away hard on the charger software. And I think it's now at a point that you can link up as many chargers as you want with CAN, and they will share the load. So, you know, once the load goes above a certain point, it will bring in a second, a third, a fourth charger, all this kind of thing. So I do also know someone that has 10 Tesla Gen 2 chargers sitting on a shelf waiting for this particular project to happen. So theoretically we would need to visit a Tesla supercharger with a pair of cable shears, chop off the charging cable, get myself 10 PCBs made, bung them in the chargers, wire them up, find somewhere that has 100 kilowatt 3-phase, and then we would need to either steal a Tesla or convince somebody, perhaps hopefully not at gunpoint, to allow us to plug the car in. And oh yes, then of course I would need to work out how the flippin' single wire can work. So therefore we would definitely need to hijack a Tesla, get the guy to drive to a fast charging station. I would first need to develop a single wire CAN Dewey shield, and then we'd need to take a log of the single wire CAN, which would mean busting apart the back end of the car. But I mean, if we're pulling a gun on somebody, that'll be the least of our problems. And then we'd need to log that and try to work out what the messages mean. Once we've worked all that out, then theoretically we could implement that on the master board in one of the, oh god, I'm babbling. Yeah, but basically yes, it's still in the plan, but just haven't really gotten to that part yet. So okay. Have I tried to put batteries in the old fuel tank? That could be explosive, but I know what you mean, and not yet really. I've been just too lazy and just put them in easier places. What supercharger? Tesla supercharger. Yeah, I've got this crazy plan to make a open source 100 kilowatt Tesla supercharger out of 10 Tesla chargers. But yeah, so who should I rip off if I want to reverse engineer Nissan Leaf parts? You would need to rip off a Nissan Leaf inverter and probably the motor and the charger and the DC and stuff like that. Johannes did a video few months back where he described the connections to run the Leaf inverter, and he's also got the Leaf inverter working with one of his boards. And oh yeah, he's also got this really cool super simple resolver interface, which we have implemented on our new Enova board. So theoretically the old Enova is going to be able to drive permanent magnet motors without the resolver to digital converter and all this kind of thing. In fact, I saw a post that he did today where he said he had it working down to plus and minus 0.5 degree jitter, so that's pretty cool. I have a Tesla and single wire can. Oh, okay. Okay, brilliant. And an adapter for can to single wire can. Okay, this is going to be scary. Okay, I've even got people recommending single wire can devices for me. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Who is Johannes? Johannes is Johannes Hubner. He is the guy that developed the open source Inverter and has basically written the software for it and has adapted that software to run the Tesla drive units when I developed the PCBs for them. If you should be able to if you just do a Google search for Hubner Inverter. Again, I always spell his name wrong, so I'll try now. Heubner, I think, but I usually mess that up. But it should still find it for you. So, how much in kilowatt hour batteries do I think I can sensibly fit into the Panzer? Well, I am hoping to get something like 70 to 80 kilowatt hours. I know that probably sounds crazy. If you think about a Tesla pack, so I'm thinking something along the lines of 12 Tesla modules with probably 8 in the front and 4 in the either under the back seats, or I might delete the back seats totally. Now I know that probably sounds like sacrilege to some people, but if you have ever, you know, sat in a Panzer or attempted to sit in the back seats of a Panzer, trust me when I say it's not something that you'll want to do a second time. I did it once in order to change some bulbs in the, you know, the interior lights, and I got in there and I couldn't get myself back out. I literally couldn't, you know, I was like lying back like this and my knees were up like this, and I was, oh geez, I'm stuck here now for life. So what I ended up having to do was, I fortunately had a screwdriver, and I put my arm around the front, the driver's seat headrest, and was just able to get the screwdriver onto the button that tilts the seat forward, so the seat kind of pulled me out of the back. And yeah, so deleting the back seats of the Panzer is an option. Not sure if it's you know, if it's kind of where we're going to be, but as I've said in a few videos and streams, the end goal with the Panzer is to have 200 miles plus of range, and we're going to drive to Munich. And again, please don't tell BMW about this because they'll post guards, but the plan basically is at BMW Welt, where they have all the museum and the kind of new car deliveries and stuff like this. They have this pneumatically driven gate where people drive out their new cars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the mats, as they say, set up shop opposite it and time it perfectly so that as somebody's new car comes out, I'm going to shoot in and go back up Tokyo Drift style up this kind of a spiral thing, and just, you know, peel into the delivery position there with an absolute cloud of smoke, buzz down the window, and in my best German say, "Was ist die Crack, lads?" So again, please don't tell them that. Anyway, what are we talking about now, guys? Do I believe the graphing silicon batteries? I believe there's a lot of interesting batteries coming along, guys. Now, it's not stuff that we're going to be able to buy today and bung into our cars tomorrow. But I do think that the 500 watt hour per kilogram barrier has been broken in production batteries. I have nothing to prove that with. I could be talking out of my back end, but I'm pretty sure that the Tesla semi-truck is doing 500 watt hours per kilogram. Just my own thoughts. Do they load my insurance for converting converting it? So talking about cars, basically no, they did horrendously the first time. That was back in 2011. But not anymore. I still get to pay high insurance because I love paying out. Bing. Now, is there such a thing as a DC brushless type motor that doesn't use a PM and uses an induct? Oh God, I don't know, but I was reading up on the Model 3 motor that's in the Model 3 drive unit, and that is a very interesting piece of kit from what I can ascertain. It does use permanent magnets, but not in the rotor. So that's going to be interesting when I get my hands on a Model 3 motor, because that's going to be the next really big open sourcing hacking challenge for me, which I would hopefully next year sometime I get my hands on one of those. I hope it doesn't take me 5 years like it did to get a Model S drive unit, but you know, times have certainly changed, and I've changed as well a bit, you know, because either you change life or life changes you. Yeah, switch reluctance, that's it. Anyone see the Audi with a Tesla motor on Rich Rebuild's channel? Yes, I did. I was very impressed with how they were able to use the motor with a standard gearbox, because many of the experts on a certain forum that I won't name had claimed that such things were impossible. Well, no such thing is impossible. So I was very interested to see that. I would have loved to see, you know, a video series on all the machining and all the stuff that they did with that. But then again, I'm just a glutton for punishment, and I'm basically a media addict as well, because I just can't get enough of hearing my own voice. And I know that, you know, not everyone is quite like that. All right. Is there an inverter or some way of using your car battery to power your house if you can charge from solar panels? Yes, I mean, any grid tie inverter will kind of let you do that. There's lots of these smart charging points going around these days now that will throttle the charging depending on how much solar or wind or whatever form of renewables that you may be using. So yeah, any video of me getting stuck in the back seat? Well, for me, fortunately no. For you guys, sadly no. It was pretty scary because I thought that I was going to be, you know, I thought I was going to have to call the emergency services, and the really bad thing is they would have cut the roof off the car, and that would have annoyed me a lot. Anything else? My God, I don't believe this. There's 82 people watching this. This is my highest level of live stream viewing yet. Can we reach 100 people? Only if I can stay on message, maybe, which I do find hard to do. So by the way, guys, just general question for you: how am I coming through audio, video wise, that kind of thing? Because I've been trying to find better ways to you know, stream, because I'm going to be streaming from multiple sources when I'm doing the 7-day build, so kind of want that to be pretty good. Yeah, liquid batteries. That's been going around for some time. I'm not so sure about it, but I'm not a battery expert. I'm not an expert in anything. I'm certainly not an expert in YouTube live streaming. That much we can be certain about. Damn, my hair looks good too. Wow. Yeah, well, what little of it there is probably being blotted out by the shine from the bald spot. Well, bald head, really. Yeah, we have a lot going on, guys. We have an awful lot going on. And I know that I haven't been as, I haven't been as on here as I probably should be, so apologies for that. I'm going to try and get some more content made ASAP. Had I had the i3 inverter working? Yes, I did, Tom. I think it might even have been earlier this year. It's really weird. You have to give the driver board needs a 32 volt supply. I do have it in my notes there, so I will be getting back to that. The i3 motor hopefully now will work with Johannes's super simple resolver interface. I can't believe that he has simplified it that much, so I'm really keen to see how that's going to work out. Any tips for reverse engineering? Don't be afraid of 1200 messages per second would be my first state. Obviously, if you have the EVTV CAN DUI, the SavvyCAN program that goes along with that is really good. It takes a bit of getting used to. I might even try and give you guys a little bit of a video on that. Now I probably don't use it to a quarter of its potential, but I can at least show you what I do use on it, if that's any benefit. And as I'm working on the E65, it's probably the ideal time to do that. So what I might do is plug in the old microphone and do a screen recorder on the laptop next time for you that I'm working on the E65 CAN bus, if that sounds like something we could do. Have I brought any of my cars to car shows? I haven't, no. Understand that up to just a little over a year ago, I was pretty much working a full-time job, and it was one that was also, I don't want to say too much, but it was draining me heavily on an emotional and physical level. My health was going, downhill as well at that particular time. Which would have been due to the heart stuff, probably primarily. Wow. So I'm rebuilding my life around electric vehicles now, and it's kind of it's taking me a bit of getting used to, a bit of adapting to, not having a regular paycheck every month and stuff like that. But at the minute, I really wouldn't trade it for the world. So I'm gonna hopefully get to do a lot of more things that I want to do, and certainly attending car shows and things like that would be one of them. I mean, I'd never been to Mondello Park. I'd never been on a racing track, as was clearly demonstrated by my lack of driving skills. Yeah, hopefully now as well, when the Panzer is resprayed, we'll be able to bring her around to let you guys have a look at her and certainly if you're interested in seeing her, she'll be at the Stone Motorsport Dyno Day on the 8th of September. That's being arranged by trackdays.ie, so if you want to attend, do have a look at their website, because they were really helpful to me when I needed when I was going to bring the Panzer to Mondello Park. You know, I needed to have 3-phase power for charging and things like that, and they were very helpful to me there. So definitely check that out, trackdays.ie. Could I use supercapacitors to power a motor at the back wheels for a boost, like you mean for Formula 1? Probably. Can I make X video explaining how to refurbish a DC motor? Yes, that is something I do want to do. I haven't forgotten about that. I just don't have a motor that I can take apart. Just a second, guys. I think my cat wants to pop out. On you go, Moriarty. Go on. Now, cats, you know, they train us, right? Anyway, yeah, so as soon as I can get a motor, I will either give you guys, I'll probably do it in a video, because I'm going to have to do things like cleaning it and painting it and that, so it's probably going to make more sense as a video, unless you want a 4-hour live stream of me watching paint dry, which is probably what we're doing now, and you've had enough of that, so hell no. Big fan of my channel, thank you. I certainly don't have a quantity of subscribers, but I think I'm really, you know, really lucky that I have quality. So thank you everyone that watches me, be it here or on the videos and so on. Nice name for the cat. Yeah, I've got 2 cats at the minute, Professor Moriarty and Dr. Watson. Could I do a little work on subsystems, heater, air conditioning, and etc.? Yes, I can do. There would be some of that in the videos. Oh, hang on a second, right? Oh, there we go. There would be some of that in the previous builds, like the E39 and the original E36. I mean, I can't say they're that good quality videos from back then, but I will definitely be doing stuff like that on the E65. There'll be an episode on the E36 €1,000 build coming up soon, dealing with the heating, that I think you guys will like, and I'll probably be revisiting the Panzer somewhat, because yeah, cannoning down the old Autobahn in Germany in the middle of the summer is going to be warm, so we'll probably need aircon. Oh yeah, it's the problem with cats, they tend to break your heart a bit, don't they? But anyway, that's the thing. As my wife says, I rescue cats and cars, but not necessarily in that order. I was recently very tempted to rescue an E24 from my pal Dave, but fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, that didn't work out. And I woke up kind of yesterday morning feeling the urge to rescue another E39. So I don't know, maybe it's the government satellites are beaming messages into my head to rescue cats and cars. So can I explain a little more about DC-DC converters? How many watts is needed in most cars? Well, I don't actually use DC-DC converters much, because I really wasn't able to find a good one. Most of them are just repurposed switch mode power supplies that tend to explode. The Tesla one would be the exception to that particular rule. And my latest acquisition, that shall remain unnamed, has a nice 1 kilowatt DC-DC converter in it, and I'll hopefully be giving you guys a little sneak peek at that fairly soon. So how many people need a US to EU supercharging adapter? That could be interesting. Why can many of the EV not charge like the Zoe Chameleon charger? Theoretically, there's no reason, because the Chameleon charger uses the motor windings as part, as the inductor part of the charger. Now, it's not as straightforward as one may think to do that, but it is, you know, it is theoretically at least fairly simple to do. So we'll I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm 41, guys. If my heart keeps on pumping, I'll probably get to that before I'm, you know, 82. Wow, a Lamborghini Aventador with 2 performance motors. I hope you have your will made. And definitely you're going to need at least 3 GoPros and live stream it. Because I can tell you now, Panzer's a heavy car. It's got the standard drive unit in it. The hardest I've pushed it's been 300 kilowatts, just over about 306, and it's scary fast. I mean, I've been in Dave's E46 M3 that when it changes gear, it feels like your stomach is being sledgehammered from the inside. But just the shove and the continuous acceleration that you get from the Tesla drive unit is scary. If you're talking about putting 2 of them in a light car like an Aventador, then yeah, that's going to be crazy. So that I want to see. The new Renault 22 kilowatt motor more efficient than a Continental Chameleon, seems a step backwards. Oh, okay, well, I don't know much about that. 6-to-1 on the gearbox. Oh Christ, you're going to break the sound barrier. Is this? Hang on a minute. Is this one of these? You know, what was that car that broke the speed of sound on in the Black Rock Desert? Oh God, my brain's melted. But anyway, you're obviously going for some kind of land speed car, so that's going to be fun. Is it possible to do regen braking on a DC motor? The question that has troubled mankind since the dawn of magnetism. Yes, you can. It's a pain in the neck to do. And I've found from driving a good few DC cars and driving the Land Yacht, which is a DC car without regen, that I tend to think that leaving the energy in the car when the car is moving is probably the easiest thing to do with it, because anytime that you change energy from one form to another, you incur a loss. So at least that's how I convince myself that I don't need regen. So it's not quite all it's cracked up to be. EVTV did a very good episode on it a few years ago. Probably worth having a look at that. Trust SSC, yes, that's it. Damn, that was one hell of a fun car. I watched a documentary on that. I haven't seen much progress on the new one they're doing. It's supposed to be breaking the 1,000 miles per hour barrier, so that would be also fun. So what else are you doing for me here, guys? What else? Oh yeah, I've seen some little video clips of the EV West E36. I mean, okay, so they're up to 420 kilowatts. That's probably the performance drive unit. Yeah, I mean, there comes a point, I think with electric drive more so than internal combustion, there does come a point that there's no point having any more power. I know that's goes against the grain a bit, yeah, I just think at some point you've got enough power. So, but anyway, who knows? I should try for a land speed record in the Panzer. Have you seen my driving? Okay. Go and have a look on my channel and search for Flying Tesla Drive Unit. And I don't think I should be doing a land speed record in the Panzer. Has anyone put my AC controller in a Prius inverter? Jesus, really, guys? Yeah. Okay. Okay then, I might as well tell you. Okay. Alright. Okay. Just don't tell my wife about this, okay? Because I'm trying to make it a surprise for her. I bought a Prius gearbox, Gen 2, and a Prius inverter. And I'm going to design a board to run it. I'm going to weld up MG1 and MG2. And I'm going to put the Prius gearbox in a Toyota Celica with the Prius inverter. And I've also just gotten a deal on a Renault Zoe battery. And I'm going to bung all that into a blue Toyota Celica, and I'm going to surprise her with that. So whatever you do not tell my wife about this, okay? Anyone does that, I will land a Falcon 9 on you, okay? I will hack SpaceX and I will land a Falcon 9 on you, okay? You have been warned. Anyway, do I think the single volt battery pack will limit my max power on the dyno day? Yes, it will. No doubt about that. Two of them would be better. I did have a option to buy a second one, and I was going to, and then I started to go, and unfortunately that opportunity slipped past me, so didn't get that one. But anyway, it would have been really tricky to fit in a second volt pack into the Panzer, so we'll just go with the one for the minute. Oh, you want to use the Prius inverter to run a motor? Oh, well, there should be no problem with that. The Prius inverter is not particularly powerful, but it oh boy. Yeah, someone had to tell her, didn't you? Really, guys? Really? Okay, great. How old is the Zoe battery? The Zoe battery is from a 2017 car. I'm hoping it's okay. It may not be. It could be a paperweight. But yeah. Okay. It seems as if this is the one live stream that my wife decided to watch. So, hi, honey. you're getting an electric Celica with a Toyota drivetrain in it, you know, so it's all Toyota. Well, apart from the Zoe battery, that's Renault. So you're going to have to live with that. But they could be, the cells could be Japanese though. In fact, the cells probably are Japanese. So theoretically, it's all Japanese. So there you go. What e-motor would I recommend for a Fiat Topolino from 1948? I don't know what that is, but I can, if it's, you know, a small enough car, then probably something like one of the HPEVS systems would be probably the most, about the best off the shelf fix. There's also the MRAX motor, which is very small and very powerful. Just don't get it too hot. How exactly do you need to replicate CAN messages? Oh boy, this is getting interesting. Right. Yeah. Right. Short version about CAN messages in cars. Most of them will have values that represent certain things like positions, pressures, switches, indicators, things like that. They will also usually have either a counter or a CRC value. Mostly only things that are security relevant will have a CRC. Most will have a counter, and the purpose of the counter is so that if something goes crazy and one of the processors halts while, say, oh, I don't know, commanding full throttle, that the counter will stop and the receiving module will recognize that the counter has stopped and reject the message. Now, I'll go into more detail with that for you guys when I'm doing the little CAN bus video with SavvyCAN. And you know, probably 9 o'clock at night is probably not my most functional hour. Yeah, I've never had a Celica before, so now I guess I will. Do I recommend a strong, cheap battery to use? Probably the Ampera stroke Chevy Volt battery is quite good. I've certainly beaten the one in the Panzer, including driving it into a bank at about 40 miles per hour, and it's still there. Nissan Leaf cells are pretty robust as well. I've also beaten on those guys quite heavily. Yes, the old MRAX motors do get hot, so then the magnets demagnetize and you've got a paperweight, so not ideal. How much was the Zoe battery? Ooh, there's the question. Not much. It's more kind of, I'm doing some work for the guy that has it, and it's kind of worked out handy for me. So I think basically I've seen the Nissan Leaf packs in the UK going for about $3,000, so I'm thinking probably something like that. At least I hope so, because I'm probably going to be giving the guy about $3,000 worth of work. Do I sell full EV conversion kits? Hell no. Hell no. If I wanted another heart attack within the next 2 weeks, I would start selling full EV conversion kits. And having had one, I can assure you it's not something I'm going to do. I don't mind making the videos. I don't mind giving as much help as I can to people, but beyond selling the few logic boards and stuff like that, I ain't going to be doing much more. So, alright. You know, BMW i3 packs for 2.5k. Well, that's pretty good. I actually saw inside a BMW i3 pack for the first time. There was one on eBay there, I think last week, and I think the way they do the 48 volt modules in there is really cool. So we'll have to get myself an i3 pack at some stage. In fact, one of those for the E65 would be fantastic. So yeah, who knows. Like I've said, things have been changing quite a bit, so I was very far gone from Tesla drive units a year ago and Tesla chargers, and hell, I just got to get a Tesla t-shirt now, and then I'll be all set. And I have to get the Tesla MCU working. So I got to get hacking on that thing. So I'm hoping to be able to do, I think I mentioned it in the last stream, but I'm hoping to be able to do a hardware hack on it to let us get root access regardless of what the firmware and so forth is, so that we can, you know, actually use it in a conversion. So that's on the cards as well. Unfortunately, probably not in the next few weeks, just due to workload. With EVs becoming more popular, do you think there's a future for EV conversions? Yes, I do, very much so. In fact, I think probably more so. I think as more and more people start to use electric vehicles as their kind of daily grocery getter type cars, I think they're going to recognize the benefits, and I think it's going to do wonders for conversions in general. It'd be a bit like the classic car game. I think I would have kind of have always seen that as being a potential market. Now I know there's some relevance to keeping classic cars as they are, certainly, but there's also, I think, going to be a demand from people that want them electrified. Alright guys, I am going to wrap things up. I've been nattering away to you for just over an hour, which I don't really want to go much more than that, because I'm just going to bore everyone to tears. And as well as that, my throat's got kind of dry now, so I'll be starting to coughing and belching and all of those unpleasant things. My God, Elon Musk needs me. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. I'd be certain that I'm the last thing that he needs now, because I don't think I would blend in too well to the old Tesla family. I think I'd probably get fired before my first day probably even started. Alright guys, I'm going to leave you at that. Thank you very much for tuning in. As I said at the beginning, thank you everyone for the supportive messages that you have sent to me and expressed to me. Very much appreciate that. We will be back soon with some regularly scheduled videos for you. Also, I'll try and do, as I said, some more regular Q&A type live streams where we'll be able to, you know, answer questions for you. So that's it guys, until next time. Don't forget to check the links. I'll put some links in the description of this to my Patreon and PayPal in case you would want to financially support me, but then I just do more of this kind of thing, and that's probably not a good idea. Also, don't forget to check me out on GitHub, where I post all of the designs that I'm working on. They're all open source, MIT licensed and free for you to use as you will. And anything else, shoot me a mail to info@evbmw.com. Don't do anything too crazy, and we will see you in the next live stream. Thanks again guys, see you all, and good night.